We do have a fun webinar planned for you today. My name is Misty Corns. I'll actually be kind of facilitating the webinar for you today. I also have Brittany Siegel on the line with us today. Brittany, do you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone.
She's actually going to be doing the legwork today. I'm just going to kind of be here to help her out a little bit. But first of all, let me say thank you. Thank you guys for taking the time away from your busy day. We appreciate it. We appreciate your time. We respect your time. And we want to make good use of your time. So with that being said, I think I'm going to be able to give you a few minutes back to your day today. We're expecting the webinar to be around the 20 to 30 minute mark, of course, depending on your questions. But with that being said also, there's really not a reason for this to be a boring webinar. That's definitely not our intention. Brittany and I talk a lot throughout the day. I love talking to Brittany, but I want your interaction today. I want your questions today. We want your questions today. Definitely makes these webinars a lot more fun for us, and also you can get some answers to your questions. So don't be afraid to ask them. Put them in the chat window within the webinar, and we're going to address them. We may address them in the middle of the webinar. We may address them at the end, but we'll make sure that we do address them. Okay? So before I actually turn this over to Brittany, as HR professionals and managers on the call today that work in the healthcare industry, you know that you need the right people in the right place. And that's really vital to the success of your business. You know, you have patients to take care of, and you need the employees there to take care of them. So super important. We realize that you have your patients' lives in your hands. So today, Brittany's going to walk you through, you know, how using scheduling and the advanced scheduler within Workforce Ready is going to help you do all of this, and then even give you some extra tools for managing your business. So, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Brittany. She's going to spend a couple minutes in a PowerPoint. Promise it's not going to be death by PowerPoint. Just kind of explaining a little bit about the scheduler. Then she's actually going to get into the live demo company. And she's actually going to also show you our mobile app and some things that you can do with the scheduler with the mobile app. So Brittany, are you ready to go ahead and get started with the mobile app and the employees experience?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
So today we are going to be talking about scheduling in healthcare. And this is our agenda for today. As Misty said, you want to put the right people in the right place at the right time. This allows employees and managers to be at the bedside with patients by empowering employees to manage their own schedule while giving them full transparency into their schedule or schedule options. And as we continue today, we'll explain how all this works and how you can roll out this module to your healthcare facility. And by the end of this webinar, you will see how you can empower your employees and get the insight you need to make sure all of your shifts are covered. You as managers will be able to see how using the advanced scheduler will show you where you need coverage and the shifts that you have covered in real time. Let's look at some things you can accomplish with the advanced scheduler product. You can increase your productivity because the scheduler looks at specific skills, employee preferences, and company rules. Now, this gives you the ability to put people in the right place at the right time. And you can also control costs by being alerted of things such as employees approaching overtime. Because the advanced scheduler offers full employee self-service, you're able to engage your employees. And now, speaking of engagement, let's get engaged with the system. Don't mind me, I'm just going to log out of this PowerPoint quickly, and I'm going to share my screen where I will be logging in on the mobile app as an employee.
And as Brittany's getting into the mobile app, just want to kind of throw out there, if you're interested in using the advanced scheduler, you can reach out to sales@beyondpay.com, and we'll get that email and we'll definitely reach back out to you. So that'll be kind of your next step.
Okay, it should be coming up any second now. Okay, so currently I'm logged into our mobile app as an employee. I'm going to go through some of the employee functions related to the advanced scheduler. Okay, so right now I'm going to navigate to my hamburger menu, which is these three lines at the top left of the screen. And again, I'm in as an employee, so let's go to my schedule. And within my schedule, I have the ability to enter some preferences. So I'm going to click availability / preferences. And you can see I already have a bunch of preferences for this employee filled out. But let's add some new ones. Maybe the week of the 26th, Monday through Wednesday, I can only work a certain shift time. So I would go here and just enter my preferences. And maybe these 3 days, I can work 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And what these preferences do is that it's not only going to tell the manager that the employee prefers to work these days and these shift times, but it will also tell the scheduling engine that these are my preferences, and it will take them into account when creating a schedule for me. So now as soon as I hit apply, you can see my preferences on the bottom of the screen are now visible for the 26th to the 28th. Now I'm going to go through some other functionality we have with the scheduler, with the scheduler for employees. Now going to schedule, I can see the days that I'm scheduled for this posted schedule, and I have some functionality with this. Looking at the top right of our screen, we have a button that says show open shifts. Now this is going to show any open shifts that my manager has posted and needs coverage for. And if you look at the 16th of August, the Friday, there's a bunch of little dots underneath. That's giving me a little heads up that, hey, there's an open shift available. I can pick it up if I'd like. Now, looking at this little button to the right of the 16th, clicking into it, I have this 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. shift available for pickup. If I want to pick up an extra shift, I would simply just click the shift I'd like to pick up and hit submit. Okay, it's just going to give me a little notification that my request has been sent. Okay, and you can see with the workflow I have set up currently, I don't need a manager approval. It posts straight to my schedule if I pick up that shift. So you can see the 16th was originally blank, but now we have that 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. shift there. Some other things we can do is request coverage. Maybe you can't work a day and you also can't work any other day, so you just want another employee to pick a shift up for you. So going to a day that I'm scheduled, maybe let's go to Thursday the 15th, clicking that little square button next to my shift time, I have a shift swap feature and a coverage request feature, and they both work similarly. If I want to do a coverage request, I would select the employees I want to offer my shift to, and now whoever would hit yes first, they would get my shift. And now if I want to do a shift swap, I would follow the same procedure, hit the little box next to the shift I want to switch with someone. It's going to display all the employees in that schedule that have the same skill as I and are working another day or time that I can switch with. And let's say if I want to switch with Zach on the 17th, I would select his name, I would hit submit, and now Zach is going to get a notification saying, Beth wants to do a shift swap request and work your Saturday if you work August the 15th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for Beth. As soon as that employee accepts the request, then it will automatically post to both of their schedules. Now, you may want managers to approve any shift swaps or requests for coverage. You may not want your employees to be able to do this freely upon themselves. Maybe you need that extra step of approval. With that, we can do a workflow that would send to employees first, and then managers, and the manager would have to approve the request before it posts to their schedule. Okay, so that's the functionality we have with the advanced scheduler with employees. Again, on the mobile app, super easy to navigate. What I'd like to show you next is how a manager would use the advanced scheduler in the system. And for that, I'm going to log on to a PC. So just bear with me one second.
Brittany, as you're getting switched over to the PC, can you explain if there's any specific requirements for rolling out the scheduler for current clients or new clients?
So all you have to have is our HCM product, and there's no real there's really no requirements aside from having our HCM product. You don't need TLM to have the advanced scheduler. It does go very nice with TLM, but you don't even need it. All you need is our product, and then we can just get you set up with the advanced scheduler.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so right now I'm on the PC logging in as a manager who happens to be the manager of the employee that we just went through. And everyone can see my screen, right? Missy can see it?
Yep, we can see your screen.
Okay, so logged in on the PC as a manager, I'm going to navigate to my hamburger menu. And I'm going to show you the long navigation on how to get here, but do remember you do have this easy search bar so you can find things a lot quicker. So going to Schedule, Advanced Scheduling, and Schedules. Right now as my manager, he does manage a bunch of different schedules, but for today, I want to show you our residential Manhattan 1 schedule. And you can see I have a couple of current schedules and future schedules out there. And the one we're looking at is posted. Posted means that it's visible to everyone. Employees can see their schedule and they can do shift swap requests and requests for coverage. Now, when you see trial, that's a schedule that has not been posted. Employees can't see it, so therefore they can't do any shift swaps until it's posted. Trial phase means that the manager is working on it, but it's not quite ready to share and it's not finalized yet. Now for our schedule for the Manhattan 1 one, I'm going to go to our view by week. And I have a ton of functionality within this screen here. So starting from the left, I can quickly see the open shifts that I have for this schedule. I can just click the little down arrow and see the shift times and the skill needed for that shift. And I can easily offer it to an employee, or I can assign it to an employee myself. Now I can click the actual shift and I can do assign employee here, where it would tell the system what employee I want to work that shift. And it's only going to give you the employees that have that skill and are available at that time. And clicking manage open shifts, it gives you the functionality to post any open shifts to employees. Now, looking at our actual schedule, this is a schedule for the week of the 12th to the 18th of August. I can see the employees working, their shift times. If I click into it, I can see the skill that's attached to their shift. And I can see their names. And with this little drop down here, it just gives me a little more information. It's just going to tell me that base compensation of the employee. And the column to the right of that is telling you the amount of hours that employee is working for the whole schedule period. And if you see Ben, between this week and last week, it's a 14-day cycle schedule, he has 129.75 hours, which is, he definitely ran into overtime. And if we had used a constraint, we could have been notified that he'd be approaching overtime. So with your constraints in the advanced scheduler, you can really utilize them to make sure that you never schedule someone with this many hours intentionally. Now, going to the shifts, I like to use the weekly view to not only view schedules, but to also do any one-off situations. There may be a case where you have high patient volume and you need to schedule someone for a shift that you don't have as an open shift, maybe like the hospital's crazy one day and you just need more staff on board. So to add a new shift to this already posted schedule, I can click the ellipsis at the top right of the screen and go to add new shift. And here, I would just enter the shift start time, the shift end time. That cost center, you need that shift for, as well as the skill. So this view is super easy to add a one-off situation. And also maybe you need to edit an existing shift time. Maybe Ben was scheduled to work Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 7 p. Maybe there was high patient acuity or volume and he needed to stay later. I can actually click into that shift right here and go to manage shift. And here I can update that end time. Maybe he ended up leaving at 8 p.m. I hit save, and then the scheduler is going to do a little refresh and update that time. Okay, and you can see here that has pulled through now. Some other functionality we have in here is if you want to click a shift, you can copy it and paste it on other days. Or maybe you just need to delete a shift. You can simply just click in and delete here. Or you can unassign it to employee by clicking here, and then it will create an open shift that you can assign to another employee within the schedule. Okay, and currently you can see I have group by cost center on. What's nice about this is if I have multiple cost centers within schedule, I can group those people that work in each cost center together. Okay, so what I'd like to show you next is how skills come into play into this system, because skills are one of the driving forces of the advanced scheduler. So to do that, I'm going to go into an employee's profile. Okay. Before I jump into skills, just pointing out this section here, this is pulling from the advanced scheduler. The employee as well as the manager can look at an employee's information screen and also see the schedule be pulled in right here. And below that, we have skills. So the skills attached to this employee are telling the advanced scheduler that the employee can be scheduled for these skills right here. And the scheduling engine also uses these skills. We have something called a scheduling engine that can auto-assign shifts for employees. At the click of a button, the manager would just click, and it would look at the skills before it assigns a shift to an employee, as well as their preferences. So it takes skills and preferences into account. And in order for an employee to ever use the advanced scheduler, you just want to make sure that they have their correct skills attached to them. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my home screen and go to my scheduling dashboard. And now my dashboard, as you can see, has a bunch of graphs, and all these graphs are pulled from standard or custom reports, and it gives me some nice information. Like looking at our open shifts by title, I can see with the range that it's filtered by, I have 3 open shifts for CNAs. And going down to here, I can see the scheduled hours by skill, the amount of hours scheduled for each department. So it's really endless what you can do with graphs. And again, these are pulling from standard and custom reports in the system. And you can actually click into the graphs to see specific information. If I just want to see information pertaining to these 3 open CNA shifts, I can click into my little graph. And I have some information giving me more specifics about the shift times and the dates that these open shifts are coming from. Now, this concludes my review of the advanced scheduler. Misty, do we have any questions?
We do, and I think you just actually answered one of them, which was about the charts and graphs. The question was, can you explain how charts can give me insight? So the charts are actually really useful for more than just scheduling, but right on the dashboard of the schedule, you could add these charts, and again, it gives you insight into what's happening within the scheduler module itself. And as Brittany showed you, you can drill down, and these originate from schedule reports that are within the system.
Yep.
The other question that we have is, and I think you kind of touched on this a little bit, but can the system assign shifts based on patient census?
can
I think
patient.
you've touched on it just a little bit. So like based on patient volume, I think is what they're
Yeah,
asking.
so the system has something called a workload manager where you can upload your predicted patient volume for each day, and the system will tell you how many people, how many nurses you need, how many CNAs, aides you need for each shift depending on your volume. And then on top of it doing that, you can use the auto assign feature in the system to see who's available, who has the correct skill and preferences to pick up those shifts that you need covered.
Okay, and that's all the questions that that we have. I just want to reiterate that, you know, if you have questions, do go ahead and type them in. But as we're waiting for that, if you are interested in this scheduler module or any other, you know, module that Beyond Pay offers, definitely reach out to us, sales@beyondpay.com. And let us know, you know, how we can help you. If you're, you know, if you find interest in this schedule, you're just don't really have maybe your processes in place yet, Beyond Pay also can help you with kind of putting together those HR kind of processes that you might need around your HR schedule, around your scheduling, as well as other HR needs that you have. So I don't have any other questions that are coming in. So I think this will conclude the webinar today. Again, we really appreciate your time, and we hope you have a great day, and let us know how we can help you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.